At this moment, a calm person reported. Through the investigation, it was found that it was carried out by a person named Chen Yuan and Yuling Shuang. Hearing this, Lai Wangchun nearly went insane, his anger sweeping away everything in sight like a flood. A betraying woman with a little boy dares to touch my son. Doesn't she know how to spell death? Then he continued to give orders. Post a bounty on the darknet, $200 million for the life of the kid named Chen Yuan. The other person immediately accepted the order. Understood, boss. From now on, Chen Yuan would take on the role of John Wick, hunted by the assassins without end. If the assassins failed, the money would still be up for grabs and the hunt would continue. After the tense family meeting of the Lai family, Lai Wangchun returned to his private room, slowly took out his phone, and made a call. The Lai family had deep roots in Mado. They would not let others easily toy with them. After Manager Huang answered the phone, Lai Wangchun seemed to calm down a bit. He spoke, his voice filled with the determination of a father who could not abandon his child. Manager Huang, I rely on you for my son. When he goes outside, I will personally manage and discipline him strictly. Manager Huang responded very warmly. Boss Lai, you are being too formal. Young Master Lai is well taken care of in our place, so don't worry. I have instructed everyone thoroughly. No one dares to touch him. To be honest, your young master is not a dangerous criminal at all. It's just that the public opinion outside is too noisy. We can't release him immediately. Let's wait a little longer for things to settle down, and then everything will return to normal. Lai Wangchun nodded and let out a sigh of relief. Thank you, Manager Huang. I'm sorry to trouble you. At 7 p.m., the city was illuminated with lights. Suddenly, the first two fireworks exploded against the black sky, kicking off a performance that one could only see once in a lifetime. Just a few seconds later, thousands and thousands of fireworks exploded in succession, as if vying to shatter the entire sky. The sound echoed from every corner of the city as if someone had cranked the volume up to the maximum on a colossal sound system. The sky was no longer dark in any corner. Instead, it was filled with brilliant and magnificent colors. Blue, deep red, shimmering yellow, bursting everywhere. Everyone lifted their heads to look up, and no one could help but exclaim in admiration. Whoa, so beautiful. Oh my, such dazzling fireworks. It feels like the whole sky is about to explode. How grand. Another voice excitedly chimed in. Whoever is shooting off fireworks like this must be extraordinary. Wow, with such grandeur, it must cost millions of dollars even in just 1 second, right? I've heard today is the birthday of Yuling Shuang, the CEO of Fei Dun Group. And there's also the CEO of the charity fund, Zhengzai Lu. Lin Yongwong is really going all out, buying up all the fireworks in the province and even purchasing several fireworks factories from out of town. It's estimated that he spent as much as $2 billion just to celebrate the birthdays of these two people. Rich people really spent money differently. Hearing this, a girl standing next to them couldn't help but dreamily sigh. Ah, Lin Yongwong is truly omnipotent. So romantic. I don't think I could ever dare to dream of such an incredible birthday. I wish someone would splurge like that for my birthday. Another voice teased, come on, wake up. For your birthday, your parents will probably just get you a cake, and that will be a win. The fireworks continued to explode, lasting for an unknown number of minutes. Each time there was a new color, a strange light effect that made people want to watch endlessly. Even if they got bored, they couldn't, as the noise was so loud it was impossible to sleep. But perhaps the fireworks were not the only thing that overwhelmed people. At that moment, a monumental scene was unfolding in the city, a massive film party with the participation of 50,000 employees from the Feidun Corporation. When the fireworks stopped, many thought it was the end, but no, that was just the beginning. From the sky, over 10,000 illuminated drones appeared. Not only did they shine, but they also formed unexpected shapes. The crowd stood frozen in awe as the drones arranged themselves into a gigantic message in the night sky. Zhengzai Lu, happy birthday. Before people could recover from their shock, another series of drones moved to form another message. Yuling Shuang, happy birthday. Zhengzai Lu was wearing her favorite Lolita princess dress today, looking perfectly cute, playful, and extremely fitting for the party atmosphere. Especially tonight, a fireworks display lights up the sky, adding to the grandeur of the celebration. Zhengzai Lu stands amidst thousands of admiring gazes, realizing in shock that everything dazzling and grand happening before her eyes is all because of her. Oh my god, Chen Yuan, I didn't expect you to truly make me feel so moved I could die. I love you so much. Saying this, Zhengzai Lu couldn't hold back her emotions and hugged Chen Yuan. Chen Yuan calmly responded, speaking as if he were talking to a group of close friends. Haha, it's all just normal things. It's Zhai Lu's birthday, so this is all I could do. If you had told me a month in advance, the whole province could throw a birthday party for you. It's easy. Hearing this, Zheng Zhe felt as if she were floating on clouds from joy. Her eyes sparkled as she looked at Chen Yuan, then suddenly blurted out something that left everyone speechless. Chen Yuan, you're so good to me. I don't know how to thank you. Or should I repay you with my body? Chen Yuan felt confused upon hearing this. Jai Lu, what are you saying? Do you know what you're talking about? But the more frightening thing was that Zheng Zai was not joking at all. She was completely serious. My heart has made its decision long ago. Chen Yuan, you're the only one deserving of me. No matter what the future holds, right now I just want to give everything to you. You are the only man in my life. Everyone who hears this determination must be amazed. Chen Yuan stood in a situation hanging by a thread, not knowing what to do. On one side was the innocent little girl giving her all. On the other side were countless curious gazes from the crowd witnessing the moment. Chen Yuan hesitated. Sai Lu, just stay calm. I think we can talk about this later. At that moment, Yu Ling Shuang approached with a loving gaze. Thank you for helping me organize my birthday. Drink this as a token of my gratitude. Yu Ling Shuang stood there, her legs seemingly frozen in place, unable to take another step or turn away. Her heart felt tight, each weak, heavy beat echoing in her chest. That moment stretched endlessly as she saw Chen Yuan beside someone else. The scene struck her like a cold knife deep into her heart, and the feeling of isolation and loneliness surrounded her. She thought to herself, I am really jealous of Zheng Zai Lu, and will I be able to be held in his arms like that? Not only Yu Ling Shuang, but there were also sharp gazes from Qin Wu Shuang and Yi Han. Qin Wu Shuang kept looking at Chen Yuan, then at Yi Han, speaking with a hint of jealousy. Yi Han, I have to say that Chen Yuan is really very generous. His birthday party is beyond what anyone could imagine. My birthday parties in the past could never reach that level, right? Yi Han smiled in response. It really is very generous, but for him, that's just normal. He goes all out for all the girls around him. There are sports cars, villas, and even private jets. Money flows like water, spending endlessly. Though they said that both understood one thing, Chen Yuan was not an ordinary person. Everyone knew he was someone who cultivated immortality with a mysterious background, carrying a legacy spanning thousands of years. For someone who had experienced so many centuries, possessing such a vast fortune was hardly surprising. In less than half a day, the name Chen Yuan has made any assassin in the darknet who might have forgotten or overlooked it remember, as the bounty of $200 million just for assassinating him is enough to make any assassin's eyes shine bright like headlights. That evening, Jiangbukong Airport appeared ordinary, with people coming and going, planes taking off and landing regularly. But among the bustling crowd, there was a striking blonde girl holding a phone, scrolling through videos about Chen Yuan online. Her name was Annie, but don't let her appearance deceive you. Behind that facade was a professional assassin who had traveled all over the world. Annie was a sniper. From thousands of meters away, she could take down her targets with precision. Annie was the soul of the team. She glanced at her phone screen and gently asked William, has the gun arrived in Huaxia yet? William, standing beside her, immediately replied, don't worry, Annie. Even though Huaxia controls guns very tightly, this won't be a problem for us. The sniper rifle you requested has arrived safely. When mentioning the target, the man lowered his voice, his expression becoming much more serious. As for Chen Yuan, he's not as simple as we think. His wealth is astonishing, far beyond any speculation. And the most surprising thing is that he is the one behind Jiangbukong Pharmaceutical Manufacturing Group. Upon hearing this, Annie let out a bitter, sarcastic laugh. Jiangbukong Pharmaceutical Manufacturing Group, isn't that the company that just successfully developed a vaccine praised by the international media? After this operation, we will achieve a record of 100 consecutive successful assassinations. At that point, relaxing comfortably will be well-deserved. The person assigned this mission holds the title Venomous Snake. Number of completed missions, 99. Failures, 0. Completion rate, 100%. International Assassin ranking, 36. Clearly, this is an incredibly terrifying group of assassins that has killed over 99 people without ever failing. Just one more target and they will complete the achievement of assassinating 100 people. When targeted by such a monstrous individual, it is a nightmare for anyone. And this time, the target is none other than Chen Yuan. As soon as this group of assassins planned the assassination, Chen Yuan was completely unaware. As usual, he went to the film set to shoot. He shouted loudly to the entire crew, Kuan Yin, I'm almost there. Let the light into the frame as you instructed. Everything seemed to be happening normally and leisurely. But no, Chen Yuan's life could never be normal for long. When the car was nearing the end of the highway, suddenly a massive truck appeared out of nowhere, hurtling toward them at over 100 kilometers/8. That truck seemed to have only one goal, to crash directly into Chen Yuan and his BMW. Everything happened too quickly, causing everyone in the car to break out in a cold sweat. Chen Yuan just caught a glimpse of the truck speeding toward them, and before he could say anything, it was already inches away. The space to avoid was practically zero. The strangest thing was that the truck did not slow down, but instead accelerated even more. Clearly, this vehicle had no intention of stopping until it could kill Chen Yuan. Normally, when faced with a situation like this, people would scream and panic. But for Chen Yuan, it was different. He didn't yell. Instead, he immediately pressed down hard on the gas and adjusted the steering wheel with skills akin to a professional racer. However, the director didn't make it easy for him. Another car suddenly appeared from behind, blocking the way out. At that moment, Chen Yuan had nowhere to turn. In that extremely tense moment, Chen Yuan decided to do something no one could have expected. He unbuckled his seatbelt. It sounded unreasonable, as unbuckling the seatbelt at this time was like putting himself in danger. But for Chen Yuan, the moment the seatbelt was released, everything changed as if by magic. No one knew exactly what he did, but it was certain that in an instant, that gigantic truck couldn't hit him. Perhaps with reflexes as quick as lightning and extraordinary speed, Chen Yuan narrowly escaped. A collision sound that shook the space echoed. The front of Chen Yuan's BMW crashed straight into the truck, causing the front of the car to shatter into pieces as if it had just gone through a clash with a steel storm. On the nearby rooftop, Annie held binoculars, staring intently at the scene below and snickering. Success! This mission is as easy as pie. Now we just need to clean up everything. The truck driver, a foreign guy with a dark complexion, made a phone call to report without even glancing back at the wreckage before him. But just as he placed his hand on the car door and opened it, he heard a light knock on the window to his right. "Hello, baby." The driver jumped and turned around, unable to believe his eyes. Chen Yuan. It was indeed Chen Yuan, the one who had just had an accident, standing there with a calm expression, looking slightly frowning. When he saw the driver looking at him, Chen Yuan gave a cold smile, accompanied by a loving finger gesture. "Hey bro, is that how you drive? Driving like you're out to kill someone, not joking, huh?" Without further ado, Chen Yuan punched the window directly. A shattering sound rang out. The car window could not withstand the tremendous blow and shattered into tiny pieces. At that moment, the driver looked at Chen Yuan as if he were staring at a monster. He was terrified, his face pale, unable to react in time. Meanwhile, Chen Yuan simply wore a friendly smile as if nothing had happened. But things didn't stop there. From a distance, a low sound echoed. A bullet from the sniper's rifle was hurtling straight toward him. The bullet was fired at an incredibly high speed, aimed directly at the center of Chen Yuan's forehead. If it hit, his head would surely explode like a watermelon being smashed. In that fleeting moment of danger, Chen Yuan showed no fear. His gaze remained cold and focused. He quickly shifted his attention to the incoming bullet and suddenly dodged as if it were a natural reflex. On the rooftop, William from the venomous snake team was watching everything through binoculars when he suddenly fell into a state of panic. The sight of Chen Yuan not only surviving but dodging so effortlessly made him realize one thing. This target was not an ordinary person, but an alien monster. The entire area was now engulfed in absolute silence as if time had frozen. The venomous snake team, once confident in their perfect plan, was now left with sheer confusion. William tried to remain calm, but his voice betrayed his fear. Retreat. The target is too dangerous. Meanwhile, Chen Yuan's gaze was locked onto William from afar. Their eyes met in midair, creating a suffocating tension, as if the atmosphere around them was so charged that even a blink could cause an explosion. Chen Yuan smiled, a smile full of danger. "I never expected someone would dare to assassinate me. Do you think you're old enough to fight me?" Chen Yuan began to deal with the person on the truck first. He stepped forward, his gaze as cold as ice. His hand gently touched the opponent's neck, a light touch but carrying a sense of death. The young black man felt a chill run down his spine when Chen Yuan touched him. Without any unnecessary words, he gently twisted the opponent's neck. A crack echoed, the sound of the guy's neck breaking like a dry tree snapping in a storm. His eyes widened in panic in the brief moment before all biological sensation vanished. Having dealt with the first person, Chen Yuan turned and walked away as if nothing had happened. Were there still people wanting to assassinate him? At this moment, the driver of the small car realized the situation had gone out of control. The little girl screamed as if she had seen a ghost, running and continuously calling for help. But unfortunately, in Chen Yuan's world, fleeing was not an option. Chen Yuan casually picked up a stone and aimed. An ordinary stone, but in Chen Yuan's hand it became a deadly weapon, with power rivaling that of bullets. The stone pierced straight through the girl's chest, sending the wicked to hell. The whole area fell silent as if frozen for a moment. William stood on the rooftop, a 16x magnification binocular pressed close to his eyes, staring intently at Chen Yuan in the distance. But what startled William was that Chen Yuan's gaze had locked onto him from afar. William shouted, "What the hell?" over 300 meters away, and he can still see me clearly. This is ridiculous. Run! Get out of here. This guy is not human. He is a monster. Even more frightening, Chen Yuan wasn't using binoculars like he was. He could still see William clearly with just his bare eyes as if he were standing right in front of him. Chen Yuan stood there coldly, his sharp gaze fixated on his opponent. Then, Chen Yuan casually picked up a small stone from the ground and flicked it with force. The stone shot from Chen Yuan's hand into the sky at lightning speed, crossing a distance of nearly 400 meters and striking William right in the head. The throw was so powerful that the tiny stone pierced through his skull and embedded itself into the wall behind him. In the instant before he completely lost consciousness, William regretted missing out on his dream of completing a 100-country tour and traveling around the world. Unfortunately, that beautiful dream has now vanished forever. The two remaining assassins hiding nearby could only watch William lying on the ground, pale-faced and speechless. All confidence had vanished, replaced by an indescribable fear. Jack trembled, stammering, "Annie, this is not a person. He is a demon. Definitely a demon." I knew it. The final mission always has problems. No one escapes the rules of the assassin organization. Annie was also filled with fear. She glanced at the stone embedded in the wall. It was fine not to look, but once she did, a fear that came from the depths of her soul overwhelmed her. It was not a bullet, but a stone. With years of experience as an assassin, she had never encountered anyone who could use a stone as gun ammunition. This was beyond her understanding. But before Annie could ponder further, Jack had thrown down the sniper rifle, deciding to retreat immediately. "This target cannot be killed. Just run. This place is too dangerous, horrifying, suffocating, even makes my scalp tingle." The two remaining assassins from the Venomous Snake team hurriedly left the scene and quickly made their way down to the lower floor, where the escape vehicle was already prepared. Their hearts raced as they moved briskly, and both suddenly realized they were racing against death. Annie kept mumbling in her head things beyond imagination. "That place is about 350 meters away. The other person would take at least 5 minutes to get here. We have enough time to escape. Damn! If anyone dares to take on a mission like this again, I swear I'll kill that person. Get out of here, forget everything." The elevator continued descending, and in just one more minute they would escape. But the director wouldn't allow that. It couldn't be that easy. As the elevator reached the destination and the doors opened, standing before them was no one other than Chen Yuan. Handsome slave, but at that moment to Annie and Jack, he was nothing less than a harbinger of death. The atmosphere felt frozen, and Annie's and Jack's hearts nearly stopped. They hadn't even managed to process the shock, only able to stare wide-eyed, mouths agape at Chen Yuan, who had just appeared on the highway and now stood right in front of them as if by magic. Fear surged up their throats, leaving both completely paralyzed, unsure of what to do. Their world seemed to collapse. Chen Yuan stood there, a dangerous smile creeping across his face. Before they could react, both were pulled back into the elevator, the doors slowly closing.